Well, a happy Thursday to you, day before the weekend, and welcome to another edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is the 2nd of February, 2023, and yes, as you can see from my little furry friend here, it is Groundhog Day. Grant is not a fan of Groundhog Day. We'll talk more about that coming up, and we'll see if Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow today. Chances are he did, which means more winter, but we'll get to that coming up a little bit. Also, your latest local news. We'll have your weather forecast. Also, a special guest joining us today on the program. Jefferson Robbins had his chance to sit down with Charlotte Massey, who has a new clothing line for those who partake in the great outdoors. We'll have more on that coming up. But first, before we start anything else, let's take a look around what's happening in our valley this morning with our Valley View cameras. Thanks to LocalTel Sky-Fi Wireless Network, we start always up at Wenatchee Heights. And you see we still have plenty of snow shouldering our hills here in the Wenatchee Valley with calm conditions, not much wind to talk about, not much of a change, although it is warming up just a tad as we get through our work weekend towards the weekend with some changes possibly coming this weekend as well. But you see a sleepy morning here in the Wenatchee Valley, and it looks like just a few folks are starting to cross the South End Bridge. No accidents to report. That's good news. We'll knock on wood on that one this morning so far. So that's our first camera this morning, and it looks like there might be a little haze up in the mountains as well. As far as our camera 2 is concerned from LocalTel and the Sky-Fi Wireless Network, here we look at Lake Wenatchee. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? And I think that's Dirty Face in the background, isn't it, Uriah? I believe so. Yeah, Dirty Face, the mountain right there, kind of center your screen. A little layer of fog over the top of the lake itself. It's interesting. You get Fish Lake nearby that freezes pretty good. It's about, 8-10 inches of ice on Fish Lake. But Lake Wenatchee, just right across the way, is ice-free, except for down around the state park area. So kind of interesting there. But a beautiful view looking down on Lake Wenatchee this morning. To camera 3, we will travel to. This is Cougar Ridge looking down at the north end of town and the Otobashan Bridge and the Olney Gardens area in that. Kind of a darker view this morning. But you can see travel coming both back and forth across the Otobashan Bridge this morning. Looks like traffic's going nicely there this morning as far as camera 3 from the Sky-Fi Wireless Network. And camera 4 is going to show us a view of Lake Chelan, right? Okay, this is our camera that's on the south shore looking back towards the city of Chelan. And you can see the cloudy skies, and that's kind of what we're looking at here as far as our forecast. We'll get to that in a moment, but first from the National Weather Service, a couple of things to tell you about as far as what to look for on the weekend. Maybe some snow in the higher elevations. In fact, quite a bit of snow coming up Friday afternoon and into Friday night. If you're planning on doing any travel and you can do it now, this would be the day to do it. You wait till tomorrow. Things definitely changing with winter driving conditions, especially over Stevens and Lookout passes in the North Cascades and the North Idaho Range. 3 to 6 inches of new snow expected tomorrow in the Cascades, inch to 3 inches in the Idaho mountains, mainly above 3,000 feet. Now, as far as we kind of touched on this yesterday, the outlook for February is showing colder temperatures and higher precipitation. That's pretty much for the country, especially here for the Northwest and the West Coast, with temperatures still hanging around in the, well, we've been 10 degrees lower than normal all through the 2023 so far. It looks like we're going to kind of stay there for a while. And heavier precipitation. So I don't think we're out of the snow zone quite yet. Now, as far as our forecast is concerned, latest brought to you by Apple Valley Honda. Thanks to Apple Valley Honda for sponsoring our weather here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. There you go. Cloudy skies today and not much wind to speak of. 33 for our high today. So there we are. We're warming up ever so slightly as we get through the work week. 24 the overnight low tonight. So no more teens. And like I said last night or yesterday, that maybe, are we done with teens? We'll see about that. Tomorrow we're going to get cloudy skies and 36. Should be about 29 on Friday night. Maybe a slight chance of some precip coming in Friday night and lingering into Saturday morning. They're saying about a 50% chance of rain or snow on Saturday. Whatever we get will probably warm up and go away for the valley floor on Saturday. 37 for the high on Saturday. 42 jumping up into the 40s on Sunday with cloudy skies and rain in the forecast as we head into next week, warming up all the way to 44 by Tuesday before things start to change on Wednesday, and then maybe a chance of some of that white stuff returning by the end of next week. We're at 21 in downtown Wenatchee here as we start this Thursday morning, day before the weekend. As far as mountain passes are concerned, really good. And again, things are changing tomorrow with some snow coming above 3,000 feet. Stevens Pass, bare and dry, snow and ice in places, no restrictions. In fact, no restrictions on any of the mountain passes in our neck of the woods. Bare and dry at Blewett and Snoqualmie, also bare and dry this morning. As far as our almanac is concerned, 28 was the high yesterday for the Wenatchee Valley, 18 the overnight low. Normally, we're at 37 and 26. So see, you can see that difference there, about 10, 12 degrees different in the daytime high and nighttime low. Record high for today was set in 2005 of 52 degrees. The record low, 1996 was a cold February. It was -7 in 1996. Sunrise this morning coming up at 7:25. Sun will set tonight at 5:04. Rise tomorrow morning a minute earlier at 7:24 and set a couple of minutes later at 5:06. 6 minutes past the hour here on a Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Your latest local news, sports, and obscure holiday, not so obscure. And we're going to spend a lot of time on Groundhog Day. That's coming up here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Join NCW Life Channel for live coverage of the Apple Blossom Royalty Selection Pageant presented by Cashmere Valley Bank on Saturday, February 11th. The countdown to coronation at 6 and the pageant at 7 o'clock. Coverage is brought to you by Coldwell Banker Cascade, Confluence Health, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Join us for the Apple Blossom Festival Royalty Selection Pageant on the NCW Life Channel.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
8 minutes past the hour here on the 2nd of February, 2023. In for Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Granstrom on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with your latest local news. A 45-year-old Wenatchee woman is dead after a fire broke out in a mobile home early yesterday morning. Wenatchee Valley Fire Chief Brian Brett says the fire was reported at the Monterey Senior Mobile Park in the 1300 block of North Wenatchee Avenue about 3:08 a.m. 2 other residents of that home were displaced and are receiving housing assistance from the Red Cross.
When fire crews arrived, flames were coming out of all of the windows except for one room. The Wenatchee police officers who were on scene before us advised there were occupants trapped. Fire crews advanced lines in for extinguishment and search and were able to locate a female occupant and remove her from the mobile home and initiate CPR. Unfortunately, the female occupant succumbed to her injuries and was pronounced on scene.
Brett says the cause of the fire is under investigation. That fatal fire was one of 3 incidents the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department handled in just over 12 hours. About 2:30 p.m. Tuesday, a 3-apartment home in the 400 block of King Street was stricken by a fire in the basement apartment, which displaced 1 resident. About 5 p.m., an East Wenatchee police officer was alerted to smoke in an apartment in the 500 block of Eastmont Avenue, ran inside and helped smother a fire on the stove with a piece of cloth and an extinguisher. Well, Governor Jay Inslee tested positive this morning or yesterday morning for COVID-19. Governor's office announced the diagnosis and said Inslee is experiencing only mild symptoms. The positive test means the governor had to cancel a visit to the Wenatchee Valley scheduled on Friday. Among other meetings, Leavenworth Mayor Carl Florio told NCW Life that Inslee was planning to visit the Bavarian Village to discuss the area crisis in affordable housing. Governor's office says he'll be working and taking meetings virtually while he is in quarantine. It's Inslee's second positive COVID diagnosis in 9 months. He has been fully vaccinated for the pandemic disease. In other news this morning, longtime Douglas County Auditor Thad Duvall was in Olympia on Tuesday giving testimony on a bill that would require a check on whether any newly registered vehicle in Washington is subject to recall. Duvall, representing the Washington Association of County Auditors, told the Senate Transportation Committee that he and his fellow registrars have concerns about the bill.
So there are a number of reasons why this process could be held up. So what that does is it places the burden on those agents and subagents at the counter when people come to renew. And there are a number of reasons why they wouldn't be able to do it timely. They can self-attest they've got it done, or they're going to have to apply for an exemption. All that work will fall on us in person, by phone, through emails, and through mail-in renewals. And mail-in renewals could be very problematic for this process.
Now, there's state news. 12th District State Senator Brad Hawkins signaled this week he's likely to support a .05 blood alcohol level to define drunken driving. In a Senate Transportation Committee hearing on Monday, Hawkins questioned the bill's main sponsor, Senator and former state trooper John Lovick.
Generally speaking, I'm a supporter of this bill.
Thank you.
And I totally agree with you. If my standard is if people drink alcohol, they shouldn't drive. And it's really as simple as that. But I just wanted to ask you, based on your experience as a trooper, what is it like for someone whose blood alcohol content is .07, who's impaired? What kind of behaviors are they, when you pulled them over and gave them those tests, can you describe for us sort of what their state of impairment was?
So it's been a while. Again, I retired many years ago. But you know what I found was that obviously you don't know what the BAC was when you stopped them, but you had a reason to stop them. And it had to be the weaving, the driving, the following too close, the crossing the center line. I've swerved on a 2-lane roadway, swerved to my right to avoid a car hitting me head on, made a U-turn and went and stopped them. And they were in fact, at a .07 or a .08. And most people, and I guess, again, I don't drink, but most people think they're okay. It's always going to be from them, I've had 2 beers or 2 drinks. And most just don't know. And I always say, Senator, that impairment starts, I believe, with the first drink.
In more news out of Olympia, new legislation would expand an Eastern Washington wildfire preparedness program to Western Washington. The Wildfire Ready Neighbors program launched in 2021 to several Eastern Washington counties, including Chelan County. Commissioner of Public Lands Hillary Franz proposed the Cascading Impacts of Wildfire bill, which will provide funding to include the program in Western Washington counties. Pilot programs in Pierce, Thurston, and Mason counties would become permanent, along with 5 additional Western Washington counties. So far, the program has seen over 4,000 Eastern Washington residents sign up to get a personalized wildfire ready plan. The bill also lays out plans to prepare communities for wildfire smoke risks and impacts and manage post-wildfire risks like landslides and debris flows. Well, the North Central Washington Hispanic Empowerment Fund and the Wenatchee Valley College Foundation are partnering up to award Empowerment Fund scholarships. NCW Hispanic Empowerment Fund Scholarships has provided an initial investment of $8,000 to the WVC Foundation. Scholarship will benefit students enrolled in WVC support service programs like the College Assistant Migrant Program and the Area Health Education Center. Previously, the fund awarded $33,000 to 43 students from 2017 to 2019. Well, a recent addition to Wenatchee Valley has been Boba Lab, a science-themed shop that sells specialty hot and cold drinks infused with boba tea. Opened by siblings Hyro and Vasti Alpire in August, Boba Lab brings something a little special to the Wenatchee Valley.
Boba Lab started as an idea between my sister and I to sort of bring something special to the Wenatchee Valley. We have both been very big fans of boba tea since we were little kids. I remember a couple experiences when we went to Seattle where boba tea is very popular with my family, and just like some really good memories that boba tea sort of represents for us as a family. We both sort of had that love towards science since we were little. We did both actually have plans of going into the healthcare field, And Boba Lab actually started as an idea during our gap year, pretty much.
I think when we were thinking of the name, we wanted to come up with a theme that was cohesive. And with that being said, I had just got out of school. I graduated this past spring. So all I really had on my mind was, science, being in laboratory settings, like through hours of my day. And I think when we both kind of came to that agreement that we were going to do like the whole lab theme, it was easier to come up with like decoration, ideas for the menu, and things that we still are working on. I think it has been a lot of trial and error. Like, we come up with an idea, it's not very concrete, like we bring it up to each other and we're like, what do you think about this? If we both agree on it, we try our best to follow along with it. If it works, perfect, we continue doing it. If it doesn't, we try to think of new ways to fix the issue or fix the problem.
So we have been getting so far some really good feedback. I believe we also are willing to sort of work with the client that's trying boba tea for the first time. We're always open to either find a flavor that they may like if they didn't like the one that they got, or also just be able to just work with them, see what they like. We're also able to adjust the sweetness level to that, also the concentrate amount that we use. And that always helps because we always want people to leave happy and we want them to be satisfied with what they got.
If you'd like to check out Boba Lab, it's located at 4 South Mission Street here in Wenatchee. Well, it's the time now for our weekly Pause for Pets feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Today, we meet a dog named Levi.
Hello, I'm Jenny, and I'm the Animal Behavior Coordinator here at Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Today I have with me this very, very sweet 5-year-old shepherd named Levi. As a shepherd lover myself, Levi is absolutely dreamy. He is such a great dog. He is pretty mellow and easy to walk on leash. He's mature, so he has some good manners. He loves his people like most shepherds do, preferring them and being with them as much as possible. Sit down, buddy. He does go to playgroup and he plays with some polite dogs. He plays with both male and females, but it seems like he prefers polite dogs to the more rough and rowdy. He obviously likes some treats. He's affectionate like shepherds are. Overall, I feel like Levi is just a totally dreamy companion. He's going to be somebody's best friend. He's got that loyal personality where you are going to be the center of his world, right, Levi? You are welcome to come down and meet Levi. We are open 6 days a week, Thursday through Tuesday from 11 to 6 and closed for quiet hour from 1:30 to 2:30. And if Levi's not the one, we have quite a few others here.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Looks like Levi's still got some growing to do. All right, we have more local news coming up tonight with Grant Olson in the News Center. Grant, give us a little preview.
Good morning, Eric. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we will bring you our weekly Pause for Pets feature with the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Slightly warmer weather today with wet and much warmer temperatures expected by this weekend. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And coming up in sports, Eric has a look at what's on tap tonight in high school, college, and pro sports action. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Eric?
Thank you much, Grant. We will take a break, come back, and in fact, talk a little bit about sports and about the Mariners. If you'd like to find out more about what's happening here locally, go to our website at ncwlife.com. Or if you have a tip for us, you can reach out to us. news@ncwlife.com is our email address. Or you can also call us at 888-NCW-LIFE. That's 888-6295. We'll take a break, come back. More of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with sports on the way next.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams real. When you work with a world-class agent at Coldwell Banker, you benefit from trusted guidance and our revolutionary seller's assurance program to make your home sale more rewarding than ever. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
I chose a career at Confluence South because I wanted to help people, and I knew there would be opportunities for growth. I started as a medical assistant, but quickly advanced in my career. I received 5 promotions in only 7 years, 3 of those in management roles. Most organizations don't offer that type of growth. Now, as a career pathway coordinator, I let everyone know. Come join Confluence South. Come grow with us.
Well, some clouds, maybe a little sunshine today. High temperatures in the 30s. We're at 21 downtown here at Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. 21 minutes past the hour. Eric filling in for Dan, and time for sports. Mariners unofficially, I guess you could say, kicked off spring training yesterday with a media day at T-Mobile Park. We're just a few weeks away from baseball in Peoria with a busy schedule ahead for a team that made the playoffs for the first time in over 20 years last year. Manager Scott Service, while celebrating the achievements of a year ago, says it's time to get to work.
Just want to say a few things on behalf of the team. This has been some kind of season. It has been a long time. Thank you to everybody that is here tonight and every Mariners fan in the Pacific Northwest. You brought the electricity tonight to this building, and it was unbelievable. You have made a difference with this team, and I thank you. Wow. Oh, my gosh. Holy cow. Thanks, Tim.
We're always thinking of you. You're around 365.
No doubt. But I was just going to make a comment. Big Dumper's in the house with a nice sports jacket on and everything. So step up. It's all good. But 2023, it's on. Let's go. Questions. What do we got? Statements? No opening statement. We haven't played a game. We haven't done anything. Last year was awesome, and we look forward to getting better. Doesn't matter, get better, right?
Seattle won a playoff series against Toronto to advance to face the eventual World Series champion Houston Astros. Service says they hope to be better this year offensively than a season ago.
Well, the key to our season last year, I said all along, was our starting pitching. I thought really carried us all year. And then when the addition of Luis Castillo, we just took it to another level. So you're hoping those guys can stay healthy, really key. But it was a struggle for us offensively last year, certainly early in the season, getting consistent offense up and down the lineup. So with, more experience, guys going through, things late in the season, in the playoffs, hopefully will really help us getting off to a little bit better start. And we've added some pieces. Excited about the additions we have with Teoscar Hernandez, Colton Wong, AJ Pollock, Tommy Lestella's on board. Tom Murphy coming back and keeping him healthy. So, consistent offense is really what excites me most about our club.
Pitchers and catchers are set for their first workouts on February 16th. The first full squad workouts on the 21st. Seattle's first Cactus League game February 24th against San Diego. On the men's college basketball schedule for tonight, Washington's on the road at number 9 UCLA at 6 o'clock. That's on FS1. Eastern Washington visits Sacramento State at 7 on ESPN+. Cougars also in Southern Cal. They'll face USC at 8 on FS1. 12th ranked Gonzaga is home tonight against Santa Clara at 8 o'clock. You can see that game on CBS Sports Network. Women's schedule tonight gets underway a little earlier. Eastern Washington hosts Sacramento State at 6. The 17th ranked Gonzaga women on the road at Santa Clara. That's at 6 o'clock. Coming up tomorrow, Washington State hosts number 2 Stanford at 7, while the Huskies are hosting California. Well, the Wenatchee and Eastmont girls bowling teams will be leaving today for Tukwila for the state tournament. Actually gets underway at at Bolero tomorrow morning at 9:15 with the first regular games. Best of luck to the Wenatchee Bowlers. Romilly Hirsch, Charlene Campbell, Ava Porter, Sophia Johnson, Elena Aguayo, Hope Stringham, and Rain Smith representing Eastmont. Devon Servine, Grace Hensley, Sophie Weller, Jillian Castle, Reese Kautzman, Savannah Nuxel, and Claire Collins. Hope I got all those names right. Prep wrestling season reaches district tournaments coming up this Saturday. The CWAC district tournament is in Ellensburg and will get underway at 9 o'clock Saturday morning. Rest of the tournament start at 10. Caribou Trail Leagues at Omak. Central Washington 1B and 2B wrestlers in Lake Roosevelt. The Big Nine will grapple down at Davis High School in Yakima. Here's what's on tap as far as high school basketball around the region tonight. First in girls play, Oroville and Liberty Bell facing off in a play-in game at Brewster at 5 o'clock. They'll play 2 8-minute halves to determine the final playoff spot for district. Cashmere hosts Chelan tonight at 5:45. Cascade visits Quincy. Cascade Christian is hosting Wilson Creek tonight at 6. On the boys' schedule, Oroville at Liberty Bell at 6:30. Cascade visits Quincy at 7:15, while Cashmere is hosting Chelan. Wilson Creek boys play at Cascade Christian tonight at 7:30. Also, it'll be Eastmont High School. We'll be at Eastmont High School Saturday for the Wildcats and Eisenhower Cadets and Big Nine basketball. Girls first at 4:45. The boys will follow at 6:30. Grant and I will have your play-by-play live on Facebook and on television, so be sure and tune in for that. We'll also have it streaming on our website at ncwlife.com. All right, before we get to, the obscure holiday today, it's not so obscure anymore. It used to be. Hardly anybody knew about it. Let's take our morning slurp. Grab your cup of joe. Grab whatever you got this morning to get you through the early morning hours on a Thursday, day before the weekend. Here we go. It's a morning slurp time. I don't know why I do the eyebrow thing when I do that. It just seems like you have to. All right. Obscure, not so obscure holiday. Today is Groundhog Day. That's right. The practices of lore of Punxsutawney Phil's predictions are predicted on a lighthearted suspension of disbelief by those involved. According to the lore, there's only one Phil, and all other groundhogs are imposters. It is claimed that this one groundhog has lived to make weather prognostications since 1886, sustained by drinks of groundhog punch or elixir of life, administered at the annual groundhog picnic in the fall. The lifespan of the groundhog in the wild is actually about 6 years. According to the Groundhog Club, Phil, after the predictions, speaks to the club president in the language of groundhogese, which supposedly only the current president can understand, and then his prediction is translated and revealed to all. Groundhog Day celebration, rooted in Celtic and Germanic tradition, says that a hibernating animal casts a shadow on February 2nd, the pagan holiday of Imbolc. That's known among the Christians as Candlemas. Winter and cold weather will last another 6 weeks. Now, if no shadow is seen, legend says spring will come early. Germany, the tradition evolved into a myth that if the sun came out on Candlemas, a hedgehog would cast its shadow, predicting snow all the way into May. Now, when German immigrants settled in Pennsylvania, they transferred the tradition onto local fauna, replacing hedgehogs with groundhogs. Several other towns in the region hold similar Groundhog Day events. All right, let's go to Gobbler's Knob earlier this morning for coverage of this year's Groundhog's Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, won't you please give a rousing welcome to the inner circle of the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club as they make their annual trek to Gobbler's Knob.
Welcome to Punxsutawney. Welcome to Groundhog Day. Are you guys ready? Groundhog! Groundhog! Phil! 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 Punxsutawney Phil, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, we have a scroll. We have a scroll. Hear ye, hear ye. Now on this February 2nd, Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers, was awakened from his wintry nap at dawn on Gobbler's Knob. Phil looked to the skies and then, speaking in groundhogese, directed this, President Dunkel, to the proper scroll, which reads, I see the morning has brought the finest people. I see their bravery and spirit. The time has come, I can feel it, the excitement, I can hear it. I see the folks with gray in their hair, and I see the kids all young and scrawny. Their eyes and cheeks aglow from the cold, clean air of sweet Punxsutawney. I see that everyone knows their part, and I am merely the sage. But above all else, I see a shadow on my stage. And so, no matter how you measure, it's 6 more weeks of winter weather.
Yeah, so there you go. Once again, Phil predicts that winter's going to hang in there for a while. Now, in 128 years, they've kept track of Phil's predictions. He's only predicted an early spring, by the way, 19 times. In 1942, the addition of war clouds blacked out parts of his shadow. They didn't even have the festival in 43, understandably. The last prediction of an early spring was 2020. Now, the inner circle says Phil's accuracy is 100%. Impartial estimates place the groundhog's accuracy between 35 and 40%. So, what's the difference between a groundhog and a marmot? Well, the biggest difference is their size. Groundhogs are much larger than marmots, weighing up to 13 pounds. Yellow-bellied marmots weigh about 8 pounds or less. Both animals can measure between 18 and 24 inches long. The groundhog, also known as the woodchuck or whistle pig. So how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Well, in 1988, State Wildlife Conservation Officer Richard Thomas of New York attempted to figure out just how much wood a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck was capable of doing so and had the inclination. Now, woodchucks don't actually chuck or throw wood, of course, but since they are a burrowing rodent, they do know how they toss some dirt around. So Thomas took to calculating a typical size of a woodchuck burrow, which consists of 3 rooms and a tunnel leading to what is roughly 6 inches wide. It extends about 25 to 30 feet. He determined that 35 square feet of soil needed to be excavated to create such a burrow, and that is about 20 pounds. He calculated that a woodchuck can chuck about 700 pounds of dirt a day. This calculation led Mr. Thomas, by extension, to answer to that 85-year-old question, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? About 700 pounds. That's quite a bit. Man, you're a busy guy. All right, there you go. Groundhog Day for this Thursday. We will take a break and come back. Mike Magnotti with his opinion coming up. Also, we will have Charlotte Massey joining Jefferson Robbins as we continue for a Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for tuning in.
Tiki Hawaiian Barbecue, family owned and operated on North Wenatchee Avenue, right next to Hooked on Toys. Tiki Hawaiian Barbecue uses only fresh ingredients, handcrafted with love, including authentic Hawaiian barbecue and Japanese-style ramen noodle soups. And the bubble teas will keep you coming back for more. Enjoy the culinary tour of the Pacific Rim with Hawaiian barbecue lunches and combo plate classics, as well as ramen noodle soups. Tiki Hawaiian Barbecue. Enjoy their comfort food like you're one of the family.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And a lot of people were losing jobs. Friends had left the community. It was a hard time. That football team and companies like Abby's kept that place alive and the community spirit alive. That's legendary.
This is Mike Mad Dog McKnight.
Magnati, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I did an opinion piece here that was played on Wake Up Wenatchee, Dan Kuntz's show, that criticized ads for investment opportunities. And I mentioned that what I felt was the nonsense of running such an ad on the local radio station, KPQ. Now, Rosie, my wife, heard this and she said, "Oh, you're going to get in trouble." And I said, "With who? KPQ?" I said, "What's KPQ going to do? They're going to send Dave Bernstein to come beat me up?" Hey, Rosie laughed and I laughed, and that was the end of it. Well, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion. I mean, I think that's the end of it. You don't think they'll really do that, do you?
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the Diagnostic Doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units. It's the NCW Life Community Calendar, a presentation of NCW Towing. Everybody in our area is encouraged to wear red on Friday, February 3rd to show support for the health of the women in your life. Confluence Health and the American Heart Association remind you that heart disease is the leading cause of death among women, and all women are encouraged to visit their local health care provider to learn how to prevent heart disease. National Wear Red Day. Wear red and be one step ahead.
Waking up to overcast skies and 21 degrees in downtown Wenatchee, reaching for a high of 32 today on this Thursday. It's sometimes when you're exploring the great outdoors, you just got to go. But how easy it is to go can sometimes depend on the cut of your clothing. One young entrepreneur for the town of Leavenworth is helping to bring the freedom of the zipper to people of all genders and body types. Charlotte Massey spoke with NCW Life Channel's Jefferson Robbins about her new innovative apparel company called SheFly.
Historically, outdoor wear for men and women has not always been created equal. Back in 2018, 3 college students, including one from right here in north central Washington, put together a company that aims to make going in the backcountry easier for everyone. The company they came up with is called SheFly Apparel, and Charlotte Massey from Leavenworth, Washington is its co-founder and chief operating officer. Charlotte, thanks a lot for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. As I mentioned, you're a Central Washington person. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Leavenworth. My dad teaches science and math at the high school. My mom is the Leavenworth librarian. And I've lived in the valley since I was 3, so as long as I can remember. It's been an amazing place to grow up, and I spent a lot of time cross-country ski racing and hiking and getting outside and enjoying the beautiful mountains around here.
So outdoors from an early age.
Definitely. My dad bought me my first ice axe when I was 11, and I climbed all of Washington's volcanoes, most of them with my dad, before I graduated college. So I was always outside, always trying to find new mountains to climb and new places to explore.
And then after leaving school, I guess you graduated Cascade High School. You went to Middlebury College in Vermont. What did you intend to study there?
I majored in philosophy there, and I minored in studio art. But I really think I majored in asking questions, and I tried out a lot of different departments and ended up in philosophy because they encouraged why questions in that department. And you could ask them about every other department through the lens of philosophy.
So philosophy intersecting with commerce, maybe not everybody expects to wind up there when they embark on a field of study. So you got involved with your company and you came up with the name of SheFly. Can you tell me about the mission of SheFly, which you and some fellow college students put together?
Definitely. Our mission is to make the outdoors more accessible through products that are actually designed for all bodies. And the brand came out of our own experiences with needing to go to the bathroom outside and it being really difficult. When you're up on a glacier and you're wearing a harness and you need to keep your harness on for safety, it's extremely difficult to go to the bathroom. You basically have to choose between risking your life and falling into a crevasse or just holding it and not being able to go to the bathroom. And then there's lots of other challenges with having to expose yourself to other people on the trail and not being able to find privacy, the cold when you're in colder environments. And we were frustrated that nobody had solved that problem and decided that we might as well solve it ourselves.
And the company that you put together, who were your co-founders, the people who went in with you to start developing this?
My co-founders are Georgia Grace Edwards and Bianca Gonzalez, and we met at Middlebury College when we were all students.
How did you come up with the name of the company? Once you knew what you wanted to do, did the name follow naturally from that?
Yeah, it followed naturally because the concept was that zipper flies right now are designed for men, and we wanted to design a fly that worked for women. So it made sense to call it a SheFly. You have a traditional zipper fly for taking the pants on and off, and then there's a second fly that starts below it, and it goes all the way around to the back. And so you're able to unzip as far as you need to go to the bathroom. But it's also fully discreet. You can't tell that it's there when you're just wearing them around. And then there's also a flap on the inside, so it's completely comfortable. You can wear them with underwear and just pull them to the side, or you can go commando and the fabric flap is soft and comfortable and you don't even notice that the zipper is there. And that was really important for us. We wanted the pants to be comfortable and be the best hiking pants on the market overall so that people would actually wear them. But we knew that they needed this technology and it works for everybody to be able to answer nature's call and go to the bathroom when right now you can't.
And this has applications not just for people who are in long outdoors pursuits, but there's people who find themselves in that situation all over the place, right?
Definitely. We started focused on the outdoors because that's where it was a problem for us. But since launching this technology on the market, we've received thousands of emails from people who experience the same problem in other areas. It's a huge problem for women in the workforce. If you're working in construction or you're wearing a utility belt or you're working outside where there aren't restrooms. So we have a lot of customers who are forest rangers or who work in construction, who are police officers who wear products in order to go to the bathroom easier when you're on the job. And then also just having that discretion. So if you're on a road trip and you need to pull over and go to the bathroom, it's really easy for men and it's not so easy for women, but it can be if you're using our technology.
So how do you go from, I can see how the idea would come about because you're having conversations about what frustrates you. And you say, well, somebody should just invent a pair of pants that unzips all the way around. So how do you go from that kind of conversation, which, might go nowhere, to actually conceiving of, designing, and constructing the technology to make it happen?
Definitely. I give a lot of credit to the entrepreneurship program at Middlebury. My co-founder, Georgia Grace, did the mid-entrepreneurs class when she was first starting to develop prototypes. And so she was ripping out the seams of pants and sewing in zippers, and all of that was for course credit. I had taken the class a year before and had also taken another entrepreneurship class and was part of the social entrepreneurship fellowship at Middlebury. So we were all primed to be thinking about problems and how those could be turned into social enterprises and how we could actually solve them. And we decided to continue the idea and take it as far as we could because there was so much momentum and there were so many people who were asking us to just sew a zipper into a pair of pants they already had. And we launched the company with a crowdfunding campaign. So we decided if we were able to raise the money we needed to do a first round of production, then we would. And we ended up tripling our goal and raising $55,000 just from people who were excited about the idea and wanted a pair of these pants. And that's what allowed us to take the idea from early stage noticing a problem to a full-blown company.
Was there much in the way of product testing, trial and error? Did you come up with some pants designs that just didn't wind up working?
Yes, we went through hundreds of iterations, starting with snow pants that had bright yellow zippers sewn in that were very obvious. We tried lots of different attachment systems. We tried Velcro. We tried zippers that went in different directions. And we were driving all over the state of Vermont, working with seamstresses who were helping us sew all of these different ideas together. And the design that we landed on, we're very confident is the best possible iteration of how you could utilize this technology.
Because you can see how it might go wrong, and the simple zipper that you want to create actually turns into a pair of breakaway pants, which nobody was asking for while they were out skiing or hiking or climbing.
Definitely. It needs to be high quality materials. We use the highest end zippers on the market. We use YKK zippers. And that's all essential because the technology isn't any good if it doesn't work and it doesn't increase confidence when you're outside.
Were you and your business partners, fellow students also, able to acquire some college class credit for doing this kind of work? I mean, did you take the product into class and say, look what I did for design?
Yeah, so Georgia Grace got college credit for it in the first mid-entrepreneurs class. It's short for Middlebury Entrepreneurs. And we have a program where the month of January is its own class. And so she did that for the month of January. And then my spring of my senior year, I did a directed study. So I was just working on the business and was able to get class credit for it.
You've done some promotion, and I'm assuming that's a big part of what you have to do now, including when you were in school, you did a TEDx talk at Stowe, Vermont, about the Go There technology and the SheFly brand. Do you still have to make a lot of those kinds of visits and do a lot of that kind of promotion?
Definitely. It's a big challenge for us, just making sure that people know this technology exists and that we're out here. And the first question that we get asked is usually, is this real? Is this on the market? And then how does it work? And so any opportunity that we have to really explain the technology, show how it works, demonstrate that it is comfortable, that helps us a lot. And then we're also really focused right now on more opportunities for people to actually try on the product. Because when you look at it online, people have lots of questions, which makes sense. And when you actually try it on and feel the way that the zipper is comfortable, then it's much easier to understand that it's not just a good idea, but it works in practice too.
It's helping people to get from that idea of somebody should do this to, oh my gosh, somebody has done this and it feels great.
Exactly.
And it works well. That's what you want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have, beyond the initial enthusiasm in the crowdfunding campaign, did you ever have any challenges with fundraising where you might go into a room or send a solicitation and people would say, that just doesn't sound like us, or that doesn't sound like there's a market for that?
Definitely, especially early on, and especially talking to men who maybe didn't have daughters or hadn't experienced this problem through people in their life. But we would usually find women in their life and send them a pair of pants and have them test them out, and that would usually change their minds.
What was the launch like? Did you have a big event to showcase it, or how did you get it out there into the public consciousness?
When we first launched our crowdfunding campaign, we had a big party that was in Middlebury, Vermont, and we invited all of our classmates and professors and people we knew in the community there. And that's what started us out with the crowdfunding. The pants that we had to show at that point were from our first factory, and they were just a sample, and they were made out of a suit material. So it was not at all the end product that we have now, but it was enough to show that the design worked and that we were capable of manufacturing.
Do you have an estimate, Charlotte, of how many pairs of pants, how many units you've moved since launching for public purchase?
Yeah, we've sold over 4,000 pairs of pants, which we're very proud of, and we're so excited that many people now are able to go on adventures and not have to worry about exposing themselves.
And so you had a really good start with fundraising. You had a good launch and successful sales to begin with. Pandemic happened, and there were some knock-on effects from that. People still wanted to get outdoors, but from what I understand, you had problems meeting that demand as the pandemic set in. Is that right?
Yes, that's exactly right. Basically, what happened to us is that we were in the middle of our first manufacturing run. We were making the product that people had pre-ordered with our crowdfunding campaign, and our factory shut down overnight because of the pandemic. And our factory was in India. It was a fair trade and zero waste facility, and I had spent 3 weeks there in person working with the assistant manager, living at his house, and they ended up going bankrupt because of the pandemic. Many of the other companies canceled their orders and they had to shut down. And we had already bought all of our fabric and hardware and were storing it there for them to continue making product. And we couldn't get it out of the country because of the COVID-related transport bans. And so we lost all of that. Wow. And we still had a couple hundred people who were waiting on product. And so we had to set up a whole new supply chain. We had to figure out how to get those people the pants that they had already paid for. And at that point, we didn't have enough money left to refund them. And so our way through was to make more pants. And we were able to do that. And now everyone got the product. And they're very excited about it, and the people who had to wait, they did end up getting a much better product because we were able to make adjustments based on the feedback from the first production.
We should talk about the fabric itself. What are you making your pants from?
Yeah, it's a nylon spandex blend. It's super stretchy, it's very durable, and it's got a durable water repellent coating on it, so water just beads and runs right off. The fabric is really beloved because it fits a wide variety of body types, and the same pair of pants can fit really well on a lot of different people. And it ends up feeling a lot like a legging, even though it functions and looks like a technical hiking pant.
Do you see yourself as a women's apparel company, or is this apparel for anyone?
Yeah, the technology is definitely for everybody, and we have customers across the gender spectrum. Our focus has been on solving problems that haven't been solved yet, and a lot of those problems are problems that are primarily for women or people who identify as women and have that anatomy. And that's mainly because most of the people who own outdoor brands and have historically owned the stores and companies that make products for the outdoors have been men, and the salespeople have been men as well. And so it was really difficult to make products that were not designed for that customer. And we see our role as not just making things for the sake of making them or because we've made small adjustments to make them slightly better, but really trying to rethink the way that apparel is designed so that it works for people who have been left out.
Well, in January, SheFly won its second Innovation Award from the Outdoor Retailer Trade Association. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the basis for the award? I mean, did you submit your current design, new designs? What were they awarding based on?
Yeah, so the first award was for our Go There pant, so focused on the zipper technology innovation, but also all of the other additions that we've made to the product to make it, we think, the best outdoor pant on the market. And then our award this year was based on our new legging, the Go Free legging that will be launching later this year. And it features a patent pending zipper that is an invisible zipper. So it's a slightly different construction from the pant, but it's still fully comfortable, fully discreet, and it's layerable with the pant. So you're able to wear the legging as a base layer and then still be able to go to the bathroom when it's cold outside.
And SheFly has been able to land a couple of patents based on its innovation in this field, is that right?
Yes, we're patented in 30 countries for our GoFly technology.
So what's next for the company? You started out with hiking pants, moved into some other areas of long pants, but you're doing something different now. What's new?
Yeah, so we are really excited. We're going to be launching shorts this year. These are the shorts. And so it's the same zipper technology as the pants, the same
fabric. Pretty much invisible too.
Yeah, you can't tell that it's there. And they're also just cute shorts that look good on all body types. And so those are coming in April, which we're very excited about. And then our leggings will be coming later this year as well. So we're really excited to finally have new product and not just be focused on the one pant and be able to provide our technology in new situations that we weren't able to before.
And your online store, sheflyapparel.com.
Yes.
Features both the pants as well as a couple of fun other items, hats, patches, buttons, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And people will be able to order the leggings there when they launch, correct?
Yes.
What else is coming up for the company? Have you got any future plans for 2023 and beyond?
Yeah, well, our big focus right now is getting into more stores. We're in Moose Jaw Mountaineering stores right now, which are mostly focused on the Midwest. But we're looking at expanding our retail locations because we've seen that people really want to be able to try on the product. And once they do try it on, then they are fully sold and never want to go without the technology again. And then also just getting the word out so that people know that we exist, that we have product in stock, and that we really are solving problems that many people have and are doing it in a way where you don't have to make a sacrifice. You get everything that you want out of a pant, and you also get an added freedom that you never had before.
Is SheFly, Charlotte, your full-time job, or are you involved in other things as well?
It is my full-time job, yeah. As of a year and a half, it has been my full-time job.
Chief Operating Officer and Evangelist for SheFly Apparel, Charlotte Massey from Leavenworth, Washington. Thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You're watching the NCW Life channel.
NCW Life Channel is your home for local sports with the Wenatchee Panthers and East Mont Wildcats right here. Coverage brought to you by Abby's Pizza, Biosports Physical Therapy, Clean Connection, Coldwell Banker Cascade, Confluence Health, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Highlander Golf Course and Grill, Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, and Together for You. Follow all the action right here on the NCW Life Channel.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well-versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
While it may be hard to resist those big brown eyes and pleading face, many people aren't aware that people food can be dangerous to pets. And it's not just because of the added weight gain. Some foods are downright dangerous, including chocolate. For a detailed list of dangerous foods, go online to pawsandclawsvh.com. If you suspect your pet has eaten something dangerous, please call Dr. Shauna Baez and her staff at 888-PAWS, as your pet's health is important to us.
Couple of minutes left of the show here for a Thursday edition. Thanks again to Charlotte Massey. Great story there, and thanks to Jefferson for putting that together. Coming up tomorrow, Dan had a chance to sit down with Dr. Kim Skelding, a cardiologist with Confluence Health. Tomorrow is Wear Red Day, easy for me to say. That is in honor of Heart Health Month. We'll find out more about that coming up tomorrow morning on the program. As far as our forecast for the Valley and for North Central Washington, Apple Valley Honda is our sponsor of the weather forecast. And today, cloudy skies, maybe a sunbreak this afternoon, 33 our high. Cloudy overnight tonight into tomorrow with a high of 36 on Friday. Weekend forecast looks like clouds and showers, maybe starting with a few snowflakes Saturday morning, but it'll warm up to about 37 Saturday afternoon. Warming up to 42 on Sunday, 43 Monday, 44 on Tuesday. So as we get into next week, very warm conditions. We're at 21 downtown under overcast skies here at the NCW Life Channel studios. As far as the mountain passes are concerned, they're in good shape this morning. If you need to travel, today's the day to do it. Mostly bare and dry. No restrictions on any of the mountain passes for Blewett, Snoqualmie, or Stevens Pass. Now tomorrow, expecting snow and up to 6 inches of snow in the Cascades, especially at Blewett or at Stevens Pass coming up tomorrow. There's a look at it starting tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow night. So Again, if you need to travel over to the west side, might be going today the better advice than waiting until tomorrow. Also coming up here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, I'll be filling in for Dan all the way through next week and to the following Monday, so get used to it. Punxsutawney Phil did see a shadow today, so that means 6 more weeks of winter, which is typically what Phil tells us anyway. We will also next week introduce you to the top 10 candidates as we get ready for the Apple Blossom Festival's scholarship pageant. That's coming up on Saturday, a week from this Saturday, on February 11th. We'll have our countdown to coronation at 6, the pageant at 7. So be prepared for that coming up next week. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you again tomorrow here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.